Jungkook is now back in Korea after concluding a series of activities organized by the company, which included filming focused on promotional content with JIN. After the day's work ended, the two went their separate ways, each leaving in a different vehicle. The images released show how Jungkook, upon leaving, didn't even glance at his bandmate. This gesture was interpreted by some as a sign that their collaborative work had come to an end, and with it, the prepared interactions such as fan service. During the filming, Jungkook appeared professional, although also visibly tired, which is not unusual given the demanding commitments he faces. His dedication has been constant over time, and his effort is part of what has consolidated his recognition within the group and among his fans. Now, with this cycle concluded, a new phase begins that will possibly connect him with other, less structured activities, where he can show himself more authentically, without the filter often imposed by cameras. One of the most anticipated events for fans is JIN's concert, and everything points to Jungkook being there. His history of support for his fellow members has been consistent, and this could be another example of his loyalty. Furthermore, there are recent reports that TAEHYUNG has been rehearsing with JIN, raising strong suspicions that he could participate on stage alongside him. This has generated great expectations, especially among those who know the closeness Jungkook and TAEHYUNG have shared for years. On multiple occasions, they have demonstrated a special connection that goes beyond the professional. Although both have faced pressure and rumors, time has shown that their bond has withstood those challenges. The possibility that Jungkook will not only attend as a spectator, but even make a surprise appearance during the event, brings back memories of other unforgettable moments, such as his onstage collaboration with J-Hope, in which the two delivered a memorable performance. If something similar were to happen this time, it would not only be a celebration of the members' talent, but also an opportunity to see Jungkook interact from a space free of scripts, with complete naturalness. These kinds of encounters allow for more sincere attitudes, and in that context, it wouldn't be surprising if he chose to spend time with TAEHYUNG, with whom he has shared so many stages, both inside and outside the group. Their relationship, while not always publicly discussed in depth, has left visible signs of affection, support, and mutual understanding. Jungkook's return, his possible attendance at the concert, TAEHYUNG's presence at rehearsals, and the shared history between the two are all part of an evolving narrative, where the most important thing seems to be the freedom with which each chooses to reveal themselves. And when they do so together, away from scripts or strategies, they manage to convey a real closeness that needs no explanation, it is simply perceived. Since they were teenagers, TAEHYUNG and Jungkook shared a closeness that needed no words. They spent time together, understood each other with a glance, and their connection was evident to those who followed them closely. Over the years, although many claim they've changed, the truth is that connection hasn't been broken. It's simply transformed into something more intimate, something they no longer feel the need to share with the world as before. Some people wonder why Jungkook doesn't participate in programs with TAEHYUNG the way he does with other members. But that comparison misses an important difference. Jungkook has said on more than one occasion that his relationship with TAEHYUNG isn't something that belongs on camera. It's a bond they've chosen to cherish and protect, not because they have anything to hide, but because they value what they have between them. It's not entertainment, it's real. A good example of this was seen when TAEHYUNG appeared in episodes 3, 4, and 5 of the show Are You Sure? In the third episode, during a meal at a restaurant, it was clear he was uncomfortable with the production crew's presence. He looked around at all the staffers accompanying them and calmly stated that he prefers to travel and eat in private. In other words, there are aspects of his life he wants to live away from the cameras. The same applies to his relationship with Jungkook. You won't see it on a show produced by the company, because it's not a script, it's not acting. They both understand that work is work. Participating in filmed content, meeting the company's demands, and interacting with dozens of staff members is part of their professional routine. But that doesn't mean they should bring their personal lives into that space. Separating the private from the public is a way to protect what truly matters. And those who have supported them for years know this well. They have chosen to walk together in silence, without showing everything, but without hiding anything. Jungkook doesn't have to prove anything. The fact that he isn't seen on screen with TAEHYUNG doesn't mean anything has changed between them. It means they've decided to live their relationship away from the spotlight. A strong relationship doesn't need external validation or explanations for those unwilling to understand. What they build day by day isn't measured by how many times they appear together on television, but by the moments they choose to keep just for themselves. Respect is fundamental. Speaking ill of either of them without knowing the truth only contributes to confusion and hurt. It's important to remember that behind every image, every video, there are personal decisions that we must learn to accept. The lives of artists aren't entirely at the service of the public, and that includes those who have always believed in Taekook. As fans, our job isn't to demand proof or jump to conclusions. It's to understand that every gesture, every choice of privacy, is also a form of love. And if there's one thing TAEHYUNG and Jungkook have made clear over the years, it's that what they feel for each other isn't scripted or staged. It's something genuine, something that belongs only to them. Some people see certain interactions as part of a game, an act, or something rehearsed. But when you look closely at what happens between TAEHYUNG and Jungkook, you notice that there's something deeper than the superficial. It's not just about what they do in front of the cameras, but what happens in the details, in the way they look at each other, in the way they approach each other without worrying about the eyes around them, in the gestures they exchange without words. It's there that a genuine connection is revealed, one that doesn't seem to respond to a script or a planned strategy. For several years now, those who follow their careers have noticed how their bond has transformed. What once seemed sporadic or unclear is now more clearly visible. Jungkook and TAEHYUNG don't try to hide what's between them. They don't hide or try to avoid glances. On the contrary, they allow these small displays of affection to be seen for what they are: natural, spontaneous, and firm. One of the most distinctive elements of their relationship is the nonverbal language they've developed. It's a silent but profound form of communication, where a glance can say more than 1,000 words. When they're together, it's common to see them holding hands, supporting each other with a touch on the shoulder, and exchanging smiles without speaking. They also frequently share caring gestures. One arranges the other's hair, helps them position their microphone, or pays attention if they sense any discomfort. These behaviors aren't common among all the group members. They're unique to them, which makes them easily recognizable when they're together. Beyond what they say on camera, what truly distinguishes them is the way they interact when they're not required to. Whether backstage, during rehearsals, on live broadcasts, or even in public performances, their closeness remains constant. There are videos showing moments before a concert, where you can see one approaching the other to calm them down or transmit energy. Sometimes they exchange words in low voices, and other times they just sit together, silent, but in each other's company. This connection isn't fake or imposed, it emerges fluidly, as something that is already part of their way of being together. On some occasions, this relationship has been interpreted as part of the show. The term fan service has been used to describe interactions between artists that might seem close, but are actually aimed at pleasing the audience. However, in the case of TAEHYUNG and Jungkook, there is a clear difference: naturalness. There are no forced or predetermined performances. Whatever they do it as if no one else were around. Every touch, every smile, every shared word seems to flow without prior preparation, as if they have been accustomed to this way of living together for a long time. Also notable is the way they look out for each other. During group activities or public events, if one feels uncomfortable, the other notices and reacts. If someone needs a moment of respite, the other offers it without needing to ask. This mutual empathy speaks of a relationship that has strengthened over time, that has overcome different stages, and that now thrives with maturity and trust. Another clear sign of their closeness is how they share personal spaces. Whether during trips, filming, or even in their free time, they choose to be together. Not as an obligation, but as a constant preference. And it's this consistency that has made their relationship so powerful. It's not a friendship that comes and goes, nor a temporary collaboration. It's a stable connection, one that has endured despite changes, time, and public attention. This kind of bond, which seems to withstand circumstances and remain firm, also speaks of a deep understanding. Taehyung and Jungkook understand each other without needing to speak. They perceive each other, adjust, and support each other. They not only share a professional history, but also an emotional connection that transcends the visible. And this is felt in each of their encounters. Of course, each person is free to interpret what they see. But those who have followed their story over the years recognize the signs of a genuine relationship. Not only in the frequency of the gestures, but in the consistency of what they show. A relationship like theirs needs no explanation.